Good day, sir. I am Cheryl A. Blanche, Best Cream 32D, and this is my oral recitation. Crimes under different titles. Title 1. Crime against national security and the law of nations. Title 2. Crime against the fundamental laws of the state. Title 3. Crime against public order. Title 4. Crime against public interest. Title 5. Crimes relative to opium and other prohibited drugs. Title 6. Crimes against public morals. Title 7. Crimes committed by public officers. Title 8. Crime against persons. Title 9. Crime against personal liberty and security. Title 10. Crimes against property. Title 11. Crime against chastity. Title 12. Crime against the civil status of persons. Title 13. Crimes against honor. Title 14. Quasi-offenses. Title 15. Final provisions. Title 1. Crime against national security and the law of nations. Ito yung mga crimes na nasa ilalim ng mga title na ito. Article 114. Treason. Article 115, Conspiracy and Proposal to Commit Treason. Article 116, Misprision of Treason. Article 117, Espionage. Article 118, Inciting to War or Giving Motives for Reprisals. Article 119, Violation of Neutrality. Article 120, Correspondence with Hostile Country. Article 121, Flight to Enemy Country. Article 122, Piracy and General and Mutiny on the High Seas. Article 123, Qualified Piracy. Article 114, or treason. Any person who, owing allegiance to the United States or the government of the Philippine Islands, not being a foreigner, levies war against them or adheres to their enemies, giving them aid or comfort within the Philippine Islands or elsewhere, shall be punished by reclusion temporal to death and shall pay a fine not to exceed 20,000 pesos. No person shall be convicted of treason unless, on the testimony of two witnesses, at least to the same overact or non-confession of the accused in open court. Likewise, an alien residing in the Philippine Islands who commits acts of treason as defined in paragraph 1 of this article shall be punished by prison mayor to death and shall pay a fine not to exceed 20,000 pesos as amended by EO or Executive Order Number 44, May 31, 1945. Elements of treason. Number 1, that the offender is a Filipino citizen or an alien residing in the Philippines. Number 2, that there is a war in which the Philippines is involved. Number 3, that the offender either A. levies war against the government or adheres to the enemies, giving them aid or comfort. Unang element, ang offender o may sala ay pwedeng mamamayang Pilipino o isang dayuhan na naninirahan dito sa Pilipinas. Pangalawang element, dapat may gera na ang Pilipinas ay isa sa mga kasali ng gera na iyan. Pangatlong element, ang offender o may sala ay letter A, nagkumpol-kumpol o nagtitipon-tipon para makipaggera sa gobyerno ng Pilipinas o di kaya ay ito ay ginawa niya. Letter B, kumampi sa kalaban sa pamamagitan ng pagbigay ng ayuda o kaginhawaan. Treason defined. Treason is a breach of allegiance to a government committed by a person who owes allegiance to it. 63 CG 814. Ang treason o pagtataksil ay isang pagsira ng katapatan sa gobyerno na ginawa ng isang tao na may katungkulang maging tapat sa kanyang gobyerno. Allegiance defined. By the term allegiance is meant the obligation of fidelity and obedience with the individuals owe to the government under which they live or to their sovereign in return for the protection they receive. 52 AM, George 797. Ang allegiance o katapatan ay isang obligasyon ng pagiging matapat at masunurin na pagkakautang ng bawat isa sa kanyang gobyerno na sa ilalim nito sila prinoprotektahan. Treason cannot be committed in time of peace. Ang ibig sabihin nito, kahit ang ginawa ng isang Filipino o dayuhan na naninirahan dito sa Pilipinas ay pagtataksil sa gobyerno, hindi ito matatawag na treason kung wala namang gyera o digmaan sa ibang bansa na ang Pilipinas ay kasali. 2 ways or modes of committing treason. Number 1, by levying war against the government. Number 2, by adhering to the enemies of the Philippines, giving them aid or comfort. Meaning of levying war requires the concurrence of 2 things. Number 1, that there be an actual assembling of men. And number 2, for the purpose of executing a treasonable design by force. The war must be directed against the government. Requirements of the second way or mode of committing treason. In the second way or mode of committing treason, number 1, adherence, and number 2, giving aid or comfort to the enemy must concur together. Adherence alone without giving aid or comfort to the enemy is not sufficient to constitute treason. Conversely, aid or comfort alone without adherence is not treason. Treason by Filipino citizens can be committed outside of the Philippines. Treason by an alien must be committed in the Philippines. Ways of proving treason. A person may be convicted of treason on any of the following evidence only. Number 1, testimony of 2 witnesses at least to the same overact, or number 2, confession of the accused in open court. That's all, sir.